Hello, Fabio here. So today I am going to show you how I install the hands on a Rolex Daytona. This model is a 116520, and let me just show you what I got here. I just finished the overhaul on the movement. It is a 4130. So what I did ahead of time, and I actually wanted to make a video of taking the hands off of the watch, but I didn't want the camera to distract me and have any slip up because I still need to do a good job for the customer. But I decided I would do a video of installing the hands because, you know, I'm doing the job anyways, so I might as well make a video of it. So what I did when I was taking the watch apart, I organized the hands so that I know where they go on the sub dials. So of course, I already know the hour hand, the minute hand, and the seconds counter, where they go because they all look different. But now the hands for the sub dials, they all look the same. They're all super small, little hands like that. So we got 3 of them. We have the hand for the your regular seconds that constantly runs, and I will show you where that goes. Now, the seconds runner on the sub dial is actually what actually runs the seconds, and that would be on this model down here at 6 o'clock. The minute counter is right here at 3 o'clock, and the hour counter is at 9 o'clock. Anyways, that's the dial for Rolex Daytona. And you know, when the hands are installed at the factory, they're pretty tight, so the watchmaker might broach them out and custom fit them for the posts that they're going on. Now, when you go to put them back on, if you didn't memorize where they went onto the watch, you might have some hands drop lower, getting super close to the dial. You don't want them touching the dial. You might get a hand that you're pushing on really tight and it's still pretty high, and you don't want the minute hand to touch it or the hour hand to hit it and stop the watch. So you just want to know where the hand is supposed to go. So, and I like to do the sub dial hands first because they're the hands that sit the lowest. So what I do is, I don't know, I just wind the watch for fun. And I get the watch dial side up, place it in the movement holder, I want to make sure that movement's nice and level. You don't have to wind the watch up, but I don't know. I like to do that. It's just force a habit. Now, since I've been doing work on the movement, I still need to install the hour hand, so I'm just going to do that. Put a little oil, hit it with the cannon pinion, Put the hour hand on. Then get the dial washer. Put that on. Now, the dial washer is good because there's a little bit of play between the dial and the hour wheel, and if that hour wheel doesn't have the washer to hold it down, if the watch goes upside down, the hour wheel can drop, can disengage from the minute wheel, and the hour can actually become out of sync with the minute hand. All right, but I know you're just watching probably more for the eye candy than this technical talk. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to have it facing the movement, and you could just watch what I do. If you like what you see, you can like and subscribe, give me a comment, but here we go. All right. So actually the first thing I'm going to do is install the dial. Gotta move out the dial screws. Drop the dial on. And lock it in. Now, the easiest hand to put in first is the seconds hand, just because that's always running. It doesn't need to be lined up straight. I just like to do that one first because there's not really any pressure with it. And I just set it down like that. Now I gotta get my hand pushers. And what I'm going to do is just set that hand on. It's actually going on pretty easily. And that's as far down as I want to put it at the moment. There you go. We got the seconds hand on there. Still returning because the watch is running. And that's the seconds hand that runs the watch. So that does not move when we start, stop, or reset the watch. It's always running. It's the seconds hand for the time of day, not the stopwatch. Now we got the watch. We just did a start, stop, and reset. So we know now we're doing the chrono runner hands. Now I'll do the minute hand for the chrono runner. This is the hand that counts the minutes when you're running the stopwatch. So make sure I get the hand lined up, straight up, right where it needs to be. Just right about there. Right on the end of the right side of the 3 for the 30. It's a 30-minute counter. And that number 30 is a little offset to the right, so actually having it straight up on the right end of the number 3 is perfect. So now I'm just going to press that down and make sure I do it nice and straight. Actually, sometimes when I do it, I guess just to make sure, flip it towards me. I want to be quick with this. Now, make sure you get it right. You start, stop, and reset it a couple times. Every time you push it down, give it a nice start, stop, reset to make sure it's not getting turned. So, that looks pretty good. It's very close to the dial. The hand is actually tilted down a little bit. But if we need to fine tune anything, then we'll just do that after we get them all on. So there we go. Minute counter for the chrono runner. Now we do the hour hand for the chrono runner. This is the hand that counts the hours when you have the stopwatch function running on the chronograph. Now this one is actually more accurate when the hand is going right between the 1 and 2 of the number 12. This is a 12-hour counter. You can see division of the hands in the seconds hand and the minute hand. Not too low, but also not too high. So the hour hand is still higher than both. So I'm just going to press that down. And actually, I think the minute hand is the minute counter is a little skewed, and I think we got room to push it down and turn it. Actually, might have to do that one again. So adjust an issue like that. If you still got room to push it down, you can turn your hand pusher as you press. And that's as far down as I'd like to press it. And the hand is looking good. And I might still work on that. But right now, I'm gonna do the hour counter. And the hour counter is looking good. I'm not ultra happy about where the minute counter is positioned. It seems a little bit off to the left to me, but I also don't want to be too picky. Because that can just drive you crazier than you really need to be. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you can give me your input on that. But for now, I think I'm just gonna leave it. We got all our subdial hands on the watch. Now, I had a problem with this watch pulling the hands off. They were pressed really low to the dial and they were almost touching. Now, you could see the minute counter at 3 o'clock where the crown is. You still got some room there, and that's great because next time this watch is serviced, there's still room to get your hand pullers under that hand to take it off, and you could still clear the dial and not touch it or give it any scratch. So these hands were really hard to take off without touching the dial. Now you can see the minute or the seconds hand down there, still got room to take that off if I need to. Now the hour counter, look at that. Look at how low the hour counter is. And the tip of the hand is actually pointed down. So you can see there's still a little bit of room under the hub where you can pull the hand off, but the tip of the hand is right there. Now, this could be a little bit of stress, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to lift that hand up a little bit more. I don't want to lift the hand up at the hub because I feel like it's on there just right where I like it. But I would like to lift the tip of the hand up. So, the way that I do that sometimes is with a razor blade. Now, there's a little bit of room under there. I can take that razor blade, get just under the hand, and lift it. You know, you don't want to scratch the number. You don't want to touch the dial. You don't want to break the post that the hand is on. it another start, stop, and reset. Now I can see we have some more clearance, and I feel a lot better about that. If the hand was actually touching the dial, what I would do is I would take a piece of paper and I would actually scoop the hand up and lift up on the hand like that. But because that won't hurt the dial. But the razor blade is a little bit more assertive. And you can see now that we still have plenty of room under there. All right. So now, since there's no date on this watch, it makes our job a lot easier when we put the hour hand and minute hand on, because we can really just place the hour hand on kind of wherever we feel like it. But, you know, I want to find subdial hand. It's actually the highest. Push the hand on like that. And this hand is actually on really tight. So I'm gonna put it in setting position, swoop the hand around, make sure we're not getting too close to the other hands. Actually going to bring it a little closer to me so I can get down here. We got some live action, and I'm actually able to get that hour hand fully seated, and when it turns around, we are in full clearance of the subdials. But our hand's actually a little bit bent up, swooped up a little bit. But that's okay. So I'm gonna get the hour hand pointed straight up. Straight up at 12 o'clock. Just like that. So now I can line the minute hand up. Place the minute hand on. There we go. gotta be perfect, you know? And that looks perfect. Minute hand is straight up. Straight up. Now it's not actually fully seated, but straight up. Now we can fully seat it because we know it's lined up. Perfect. I love it. I couldn't ask for a better go. Second try too. So now when we move the hand around, boom, perfect. Here's the real test right here, 6 o'clock. Yeah, look at that. That's lined up. Great. Maybe not absolutely perfect, but I'm going to take it for now. Okay, so I had a little bit of a technical difficulty with the camera, but whatever, we're here. Now, back to where we were, putting on seconds hand stopwatch function on this Rolex Daytona. So I got the seconds hand right here. It's loose. I just placed it on the hub. What I'm going to do is line it up. Line up with the minute hand because I got the minute hand lined up at 12. Got the watch in the reset position. So the hammers are down. And this is probably the most difficult hand to put on because if it moves slightly at the hub where you press it down, the tip of the hand moves exponentially. So you can really notice when it's not lined up. Perfect. There we go. Reset. Had the watch in setting position so it wasn't running. So here we go. I like that. Orientation is good. It's lined up right at 12. Unless the minute hand just isn't lined up, but maybe it's a little bit off. Let's see. Start. There you go. Stop, reset. It's lined up pretty good, pretty good. I'm gonna push it down a little bit more. We still got room to play. You can see at the hub, the seconds runner is high, but where it just crossed the minute hand, you can see the minute hand, the tip of the minute hand as a chrono runner will come across. That's very close. So I might actually push down the seconds runner, but lift up and bend the hand upwards a little bit. But let's keep it running. We're gonna test the reset to make sure it's not loose. It's not as pressed down as I would like it, so definitely gonna push it down more. See that reset? I love it how fast these reset. Boom, so quick. All right, let me get that on there. Just a little bit more sturdy and a little bit more lined up. Now as I push down, I'm gonna turn. Here we go. Here we go. That's as good as it gets. That is as good as it gets. I'd still like to get that minute counter on a little bit better, but we'll see. See that seconds runner? Nice. Now we'll see if it clears that minute hand. It might touch it. Nope, just cleared it with very little space. So, you know, we could leave it, but I'm gonna actually lift it up. And now if you wanna see that minute counter jump, you can. You'll see it happen right now. And subdial is a little bit, so I'm just gonna get that piece of dust off right there. So now you can see the minute hand or the minute counter jump right when this seconds runner crosses 12 o'clock. See the minute counter on the 3 o'clock side is going to jump. Boom. Nice jump there. You know, we'll see on the next jump. It's lined up with those markers. Now this whole process takes a little while, you know, you need to get them on there right. You only get like one shot to do it. For each hand, you might get 1 or 2 tries. There's very low tolerance for mistake here. Let's see that jump there. Boom. Yeah, it's a little bit off. Minute counter is a little off. I'm gonna go in and get it again, get it right. But you can see, you stop it and reset it. Oh yeah, the seconds runner's perfect. All right, so a little adjusting on the minute counter. A little lifting on the seconds runner. I'm going home. Enough of this. Enough of this stuff. You know, you might be watching this. Because maybe you're thinking you want to be a watchmaker. Maybe you don't like your job. But you know, this job is not easy either.